Well, it is officially September, and that means a lot of you are going back to school, and a lot of you are probably going back to high school, which can be an amazingly fun time and an amazingly scary time. I know because I went to high school. Check out my official diploma. Legit. While there can be a lot of good times in high school, there can also be some pretty rough spots, so I thought we should take some advice from somebody who's been through his own fair share of rough spots. Here is how to survive high school according to Harry Potter. Well, let's start with Harry himself. It's important to remember that the people who look cool are not always the cool kids. Harry wore glasses, had a weird scar on his face, and yet he was definitely the coolest kid at Hogwarts. So the lesson is, if somebody wears glasses, they might actually be extra cool. Let's face it, in high school there are always going to be cliques. At Hogwarts, those cliques even had their own official mascots. But Harry didn't limit himself to only hanging out with people from one house. He hung out with Hufflepuffs like Cedric, dated a Ravenclaw. He hung out with everyone, regardless of who they were friends with. Or you could follow the example of Draco Malfoy, who only hung out with people exactly like him from his own house. Your call. If you're returning to school, why not spend some time with somebody that you may have overlooked? Just think about all of the valuable lessons that the trio learned from hanging out with Hagrid. Hagrid's cool though, right? I mean, he shouldn't have told him that, though. Remember that you will not always be rewarded when you think you deserve it. After all, defeating a fully grown mountain troll only got the trio 5 house points. Don't get involved in other people's personal business. If you're reading a diary that isn't yours, it may try to kill you. Don't be intimidated by people who talk big. They're usually hiding something or overcompensating. Just think about how often Draco said his father will hear about this, and then what Draco Malfoy ever actually did. I don't want to hear it, Draco lovers. That kid never did anything. He is worse than Hamlet. High school can be a dark and scary place at times, but you have to remember that you have the ability to choose to be happy, and you have to choose to be happy. Keep in mind what Dumbledore said, that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one remembers to turn on the light. Don't believe everything you hear. Sometimes you'll be told someone said something, but you don't really know what their motivations are. You never know what they're really thinking or what they're really doing, so try not to judge people before you know all the facts. Look, think about Snape. If I learned one thing from Harry Potter, it's that you don't actually have to do your homework. But make sure to make friends with someone who can help you out of a jam when you haven't done your homework, by either tutoring you or doing your homework for you. I'm not gonna lie to you, there's gonna be some pretty awkward moments with that person that you like. Now you can handle it the same way that Harry and Ron and Ginny and Cho Chang and Hermione do, by sitting there and being paralyzed by the awkwardness, or you can just ram right through it. Now for me, I say the only way out is through. So be brave and don't be paralyzed by an uncomfortable situation, though it might take a pretty big event like winning a Quidditch match for you to actually kiss them. Make friends with a cool teacher. Think about how the trio interacted with Lupin, or Dumbledore, or even Professor McGonagall. They could give you hints or an extension on an important assignment, or a time machine that you could use however you wanted with absolutely no consequences at all. And last, the flip side of that. Some teachers are just not going to like you, so prepare yourself to be treated as less intelligent than you actually are. The real secret, the way to get the last laugh, and what I really learned from Harry Potter, exceed their expectations. Be brilliant.
What if Pottermore sorts me in the wrong house? I don't know what I would do. What if Pottermore sorts me in the wrong house? I think I'd freak out, and so would you. Do you wanna be in Gryffindor? A hero like Ron, Harry, Hermione? No, you'll never